How's it going in the world of YouTube? I'm the Roadman, and I'm finally back with another video after so long, and it feels great. I did say at the beginning of this that I would only do videos for my journey, and if my journey is not progressing, I'm not going to put out videos because there's no point in me just putting out videos for me to sit here talk utter nonsense about things just for the sake of a video. I wanted to actually show my journey and my progression into riding a motorbike. I'm happy to report, as of yesterday, I officially passed my Mod 1 test. I had no minors on it. It was a fantastic day, and yeah, I'm really bloody happy. It still feels surreal, but I am over the moon about it, and I'm nearly there. I've got one left. Unfortunately, I think everyone knows this at the moment, booking a test is a nightmare. There is none, and I'm looking at the end of May, beginning of June. I mean, it's the same with a car. At the moment, no one can get tests. People are cancelling, and there's just not enough people to do these tests. So, yeah, it's a bit of a wait for me now, but I don't mind. I'm nearly there. One step to go, and I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, it's great. But a little story about my Mod 1. I had 3 lessons at 3 hours each. The company I used is CB Motors in Rill. And my instructor was a guy named Chris, and he was an absolute legend. He's the one who did my CBT, and he's the one who did these lessons with me, and he was fantastic. Really amazing. And I mean, it shows his work's good because I've never ridden a bike before, and here I am passing the Mod 1 test with no minors and nothing like that perfectly. So yeah, he's fantastic, Chris. He's such a laugh as well, makes everything easy. And just overall great. He really is. What a sound guy he is. And I'm looking forward to doing my Mod 2 lessons with him. But yeah, lessons, they started off in a car park. Well, obviously the cones out, set out. You know what I mean? And obviously you do your box, slalom, figure of 8, slow ride into the U-turn. Now, the car park, unfortunately, is not big enough to do the fast manoeuvres. So we went for a drive to a nice quiet road where there's a roundabout at the bottom of it. And it was perfect, and I did my fast maneuvers there, and it was great. It really was great. I struggled with a couple of things. U-turn, I think everyone does. U-turns are a nightmare. You get in your own head. You don't get enough speed. You don't get enough momentum. You put your foot down, and just things like that. But I slowly got it. My slaloms weren't. They were just fine from the get-go. Figure of 8's fine from the get-go. Slow ride, again, fine from the get-go. Fast maneuvers. A couple of times on the controlled stop, I stopped way too short of the cones. But my emergency stop, great to start with. And my hazard avoidance, that was the one he was really impressed with, because when I first did it, obviously, I just moved the bike like that and stayed straight forward and then back in. And he was like, no, lean with the bike. Counter steer, get down, push that handlebar down and go with the bike, flow with it. So I did that, and you know what I mean? This was his words, not mine, as if I'm trying to sound big-headed or something stupid like that. But he said it's some of the best hazard avoidance swerves he's seen in years, which made me really confident and, you know, made me feel really good about it. But yeah, on my second lesson, unfortunately, I had a bit of a mishap with the bike, which was I didn't get any sleep. I had half an hour sleep. I was knackered, and it was just a horrible night where everything just wanted to keep me awake. And I was close to just cancelling the lesson. I was going to cancel the lesson, cancel the test, everything. I was that tired. But I thought, you know what, sack it. I'm just going to go do it. And I'm not going to lie, it was probably the best lesson I did. I'm not joking. Everything was perfect. To the point I only ended up having half a lesson. And fair play to Chris, didn't have to, but he only charged me for half a lesson. Because I did everything I needed to at a point where it was perfect. And he turned around and said, don't do it again. No point. You've done it great. You've done it fine. Do it again and mess up, you're going to have that in your mind for tomorrow. So I've left it out of that. But on my, I think it was emergency stop, I forgot to change down the gears. Sorry, it wasn't an emergency stop. It was my controlled stop. I forgot to change down the gears, and I was still in second gear, and I tried taking off. I stalled. I gripped the front brake, went straight down. The suspension dropped, and I toppled. And I tried to hold it there. It's not my bike, natural instinct. Well, it's not my property. I don't want to break it. So I'm holding it there like that. And it's taking me down lower, slower and lower. And next minute, I just had to drop it and it pushed me away. Luckily, I didn't fall over. But what I did was damage all the muscle in my leg and on my shoulder. So I got home that day pretty annoyed with myself that I dropped the bike, but happy that the actual rest of it went really well. Unfortunately, I ended up having to put ice packs all over my leg. And if you're at an age where I am, at 38, you know what you got in your drawer, which is ibuprofen gel. All these young people won't understand it right now, but when you hit the 30s, buy ibuprofen gel. That's all you're going to need in your life. Smothered myself in that, smothered myself with that. And yeah, it ended up going all right. Everything healed. It was great. Literally overnight. I woke up the next day for my test and I felt great. So, yeah, on the day of the test, I had to drive from Rill all the way up to Bangor, which is about an hour's ride. I keep saying drive, car driver here, ride. It was an hour's ride and it was great. Going out on the roads, you know what I mean, following someone, you know what I mean. It just felt like we're out for a ride and it was fantastic. Weather was great. We had reports of storms, rain, everything, and I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be a nightmare. Happy to report I got up to the test station and it was blue skies, dry ground, and it was gorgeous. So I was the first person to do my test on the day. Passed. I was with another gentleman, Paul. He met us up there. Unfortunately, he failed his first test. He ended up dropping the bike after a U-turn. But we had a good chat before we did these tests, and you know what I mean, we kind of just G'd each other up, bigged each other up, you know what I mean? And, you know, I said to him what Chris said to me before each section: give yourself 20 seconds. When you're in there, that's your time. It's not the guy who's giving you the test time. It's not anyone else waiting for it. It's your time in there. So give yourself 20 seconds. And that's what I did. When I go in, after he's told me to go off, go around and get in the box, 20 seconds, sat there, thinking to himself, right, am I in gear? Yes. Is everything set? Yes. Is the stand-up? Yes. Am I ready? Yes. Deep breaths, shoulder check, shoulder check. Because on a couple of lessons, I rushed. And what I missed out on was the shoulder checks, or I'd left the stand-up at one point and stuff like that. So Chris said, 20 seconds. Give yourself 20 seconds. It's your time in there. You got half an hour. Right, the course will take you 15 minutes. Them 20 seconds between each one ain't going to do nothing other than give you time. So I did. And that's what I said to this Paul. I gave Paul the exact same advice. I said, give yourself 20 seconds. And luckily and fantastically, he passed it. He passed his test. He had a couple of minors, I believe, but overall he passed. And we never met before. We gave each other a hug, shook each other's hand and everything, because it just felt such a great feeling. And there was a young girl waiting for a test as well. And I gave her the same advice Chris gave me, because she failed at one as well. And I said, give yourself 20 seconds before each section. And, you know, I said to her, I said, oh, look at me trying to give someone advice and I've only just passed my test, as a joke. But Paul came out of his test when he passed and he goes, oh, thank you so much for that advice about the 20 seconds. And you can see the girl's face say, wow, actually, yeah, it's sound advice. And, you know what I mean? She just said to Paul, oh, he's just gave me that exact advice and he went, use it. Trust me, it does work. So if anyone's watching this and you've got your test coming up, give yourself 20 seconds. Count it in your head if you have to, but do everything beforehand, before that 20 seconds is over. The second that 20 seconds is over, shoulder check, get on your move. Deep breath, shoulder check, get on with your section of what you're going to do. So yeah, that's the best advice I ever got. 20 seconds before each one. And yeah, I did it. It was great. So yeah, I'm happy to report I'm mod 1 down and I got a mod 2 to come. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. So that's my journey at the moment on that point. And I'm really, really excited for it. But going on to something else, a little bit of mishaps beforehand. So I have this helmet, which is the Shocks Destination Carbon. It's a modular helmet, right? And this is what I use for my CBT. And this is what I was going to use for Mod 1 lessons and tests. Unfortunately, on inspection, after I did my CBT, the nose guard part, which I'll show you, this part here, on this right side, there's a bit of plastic that goes across all this. And underneath here, these bits have a little bit of plastic underneath just to attach it to this. That was actually snapped on this point right here. And now I didn't notice this, and I can hand on heart say that my helmet has never been dropped. I am super careful with it. I have a helmet bag that is padded, and the second my CBT was done, I placed it inside a shelf, and that was it. And it was only about, I think it was the Tuesday before my first lesson, which was going to be a Saturday. I thought I'd check it out. So I looked at it and seen that, and I was like, oh God, I'm not using that. I'm one of them people, if you see something wrong with something, I'm not going to do it. And you know what I mean? I didn't want to risk it. If I was to drop that, if I was to drop off and that plastic flew in my eye or something, then it's going to be like a bit of a different story. So I didn't want to risk it. So I messaged the company, which was Ghost Bikes, where I purchased it from. And Unfortunately, their phone lines, they haven't got them at the moment. So it was a long customer service situation. Now, I'm not going to fault their customer service. The issue has been rectified. They got me the piece that I needed, and they sent me a new nose guard out, a new piece, and new screws to fit it all in. And I'm happy to say this helmet currently is nicely fixed. It's all good and it's all great. And I mean, I know probably people are going to see this go, oh, Shock's helmet, what are you doing with them? I liked it as my first helmet, and I will use it. I think it's a really good helmet, and yeah, it's got all the newest safety ratings and stuff like that. And I know it weren't the most expensive, but we'll come on to that because I had to buy a new one. But we'll get to that point. I'm happy with it and I really like it. It's a really nice helmet to wear, and yeah, so I'm happy with that. But moving on to my next one. Now, this one came with many, many situations. So, while that one was broke, obviously, like I said, with the customer service, I only got this fixed yesterday. Now, I started this last week to sort the old helmet out. So, beforehand, I needed a new one. Now, I really like the modular helmet because I feel kind of claustrophobic in the full face ones. I do have a full face one, which I will be using, but while I was doing all this, I needed to be comfortable. I wanted to be at the best setting I could be. So, I got a modular helmet. Now, on the day that that broke, as I said to my partner, I was like, look, I can't use this. It's too risky. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to fix it. And she goes, right, just buy yourself a new helmet. Let's find one. Let's get a new helmet. And we both sat down and looked at helmets, and I managed to find one. Now, this helmet looked fantastic. It's brand new this year. It's from a very reputable company. And the best feature about it that got me was what the P&J, I think it's called, which is the ability to open up the module part and lock it. And by law, you're allowed then to ride around. As long as it's locked in place, you're allowed to ride around because it's been tested to the safety of it being locked up. Whereas the Shocks one, even though it's module, you're not allowed to do that. So if I was to be, say, pulled over and I had it up and the police checked, I don't know, I'd probably get done for it. With this one, I won't be. But I had issues. So I ordered one. I'll show you what it is in a second. But it came, and from this company, which is a sports bike shop, it seemed like a reputable company. The reviews were great on it. It came used. So when I opened the box, it looked tatty. The box looked tatty, so when you look at a tatty box that's already been ripped, you know someone's been in that box. I opened it up, and the helmet had no tags with it. So that's the information booklet, had to change the pin locks, all that, the warranty booklets, everything with it. None of that came. There was hair inside it and what looked to be dandruff. Now, if anyone knows, you don't buy second-hand helmets. You see a lot of them for sale, and some people might, depending on what the helmet is. But you don't know where that helmet's been and what's happened to that helmet. And it scared the hell out of me because I'm like, you're sending out a second-hand helmet, technically, for brand new. Now, if that was sent to someone, they've dropped it and thought, oh, shit, I've dropped it. No, this doesn't fit me, and sent it back. How would the company know that has not been dropped? Now, there's no tags on it, nothing. And I'll tell you about the customer service because it's ridiculous. But anyway, I needed this for the Saturday. Now, bear in mind, I got this on the Wednesday, so I had 2 days, and I was messaging them, and I got nothing back. On the Thursday, I was like, right, I'm just driving there. Now, it's an hour and a half away from where I live in Preston, right? And I had to drive an hour and a half to there, and I went into the store, explained the situation, was like, oh, God, oh, really sorry about this, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, we don't have this helmet in stock. I was like, all right, great. What are you going to do about it, though? You sent me a used helmet that I paid full price for, which is dangerous. I was like, you know what I mean? You know this is dangerous. You shouldn't be selling second-hand helmets. And then he was like, oh, well, we've got this one, a HJC. Would you be interested in this? Unfortunately, it doesn't have the P&J function. But I was like, I needed a helmet. So I was like, I'm there. I've just drove an hour and a half. Why not? I'll have a look at it. So I put it on. Felt fantastic. It was a really, really nice helmet. Until he decided to try and put down the modular part of it, the front flip bit, he tried to put it down. And then there was a huge gap on the right side. And it wouldn't go back right. Now, bear in mind, I've just gone in saying about this helmet of mine that's been used. Now, he's trying to give me another helmet, knock some money off it as well. And he can't put the front flip down to the point where he had to get another worker to help him close it. Sorry, I'm just having a cup of tea. He actually had to get another worker to help him close it. And then he turned around to me and was like, you don't want this one either, do you? And I went, are you kidding me? I was like, no, of course I don't. You just struggle to close it. And he tried to justify it by going, but look, it's working now. I must have done something wrong. I must have had the strap in it. And I was watching him do it, and there was no strap in it. There was something wrong with that helmet. He was still trying to sell it to me, which is just ridiculous. This is the one part in the laws of riding a motorcycle that you have to wear. You could wear a bloody mankini if you want, riding around. Nothing you could be done. That's your own personal choice to have your skin ripped off your body if you want to. But a helmet is, by law, the one thing that you have to wear. And they had these issues with them. And I was like, this helmet is brand spanking new, just come out this year. You shouldn't be giving me a second-hand one. Well, anyway, a bit of palaver later and a bit of moaning and everything. He ended up reordering me the same helmet, but in a different colour. Which I was gutted about, but I was like, you know what? I don't care. I just want to get my helmet, and I want to be able to have this, because this is the helmet I wanted. I wanted to be able to get this done for my lessons and my test. So that was ordered. I drove home. I rang up customer service, and on the phone to customer service, I said, look, I just drove 3 hours today trying to sort this helmet out. You know what I mean? You know, you sent me a used helmet. It's dangerous, blah, 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 blah. Surely there's going to be some form of compensation for me. This is ridiculous. He said, oh, yes, we'll send you a voucher. That was last week, and I'm still waiting. So, yeah, they'll be getting contacted again. And on the phone, which I think was ludicrous to say the least, he said sometimes they won't come with tags. And it was like, all helmets should come with tags. They should come with a tag to show it's brand new. And he goes, you can't expect to buy a helmet offline and expect it to be brand new. I laughed down the phone at him. I laughed and said, are you serious? And he goes, sometimes they could be display options from in-store. Online, you're not putting down that this is display model. You're putting it down as brand new. So you are definitely lying to people. So warning to everyone, if you're purchasing from the sports bike shop, don't expect your products to be brand new. Don't expect any help from customer service or anything. The reviews, the Trustpilot reviews and everything, people might be great. They might have good reviews. But my experience is they're doing something that's very dangerous and should not be allowed to do. You should not be sending out used helmets, display models or not, because even in store, if that worker turns his back and they drop it down on the floor and the worker hasn't seen, how do they know it's not been dropped? And you're told on your CBT, if you just drop your helmet, even from a couple of feet, you do not use that helmet again. You go get a brand new one, regardless of the price, because you don't know if there's been anything that's happened within that helmet. And it's the one safety feature you need to stop your head from bouncing off the floor at high speed. They literally save lives. That's what it is. And for this to be told to me and for this to happen, I couldn't believe it. But this was the helmet I purchased, which is the MT Genesis SV Atempo. Now, the Atempo is just obviously the colour pattern and the little decals on it, but it is a gorgeous helmet. I absolutely love it. And this, I really wanted this helmet. Now, the one I originally wanted was black with fluorescent green on it in some of these bits, and all bits here and everything were all green. It looked amazing. But they didn't have that one in stock, which worried me as well, because I was thinking, like, you know, they could have got it to me, but I'd have to wait until after Saturday. And I was like, but I need a helmet for my test and my lessons and stuff, so I couldn't. But anyway, the reason I like this helmet is because not only is it modular, on the side there, you have the lock feature, excuse me, which is makes it P&J, which means it's legal to ride round while this is up in this configuration. Really comfy, really nice. Low wind noise. I didn't get much wind noise while I was out. And, you know, got your standard little sunglasses in it and things like that. Apologies, it's a bit dirty. I've been using it, so. But it's a really lovely helmet. And again, low wind noise. Visor was great on it. Really comfortable to use for a long time. I think on the actual lessons, I was using it 3 hours. And on the day, I used it for about 3 hours as well. Really, really comfortable. Very, very nice to use. And yeah, it's just really nice. I did get a pin lock for it, and I know if you look at this helmet and read up about the pin locks, a lot of people say, oh, they don't fit and all that. I can confirm that if you go on the sports bike shop, try not to order it from there because you'll get a second-hand one, but the actual recommended pin lock does fit. Unfortunately, I think I put it on wrong because there's a single point of circular just to the right of the nose where my nose sits. and it does fog up a little and get a little bit wet underneath there, but I think that's a me thing because the rest of the Pedlock is perfect and doesn't fog up at all. But it's a fantastic helmet. It's a really, really nice helmet. Very comfortable, very lightweight. I've got a medium, so that's 57 to 58. Fits lovely. Really, really nice fit. I'm not crushed. I'm not anything. I'm so happy with the helmet. I'm just not happy with the experience of buying it from that company. But it's a great, great helmet. So yeah, and that's it. So there's my video. Finally been able to bring one back out to you guys. And yeah, hopefully soon I can bring out another one with my mod 2. And hopefully past that, maybe I'll try and get some pictures or little videos of me out on the bike and stuff like that. I was planning on trying to do that with a mod 1, but I just didn't have the funds to buy the equipment, you know what I mean, like an action camera or anything like that. And I just didn't, it was just counterintuitive for me to go, here's a load of money on that when I'm trying to pay for lessons and a test. So yeah, fingers crossed I can get on the bike soon, get my test fully done, get out on the bike, and I'll be able to do content with me actually out riding and showing you the beautiful Welsh countryside on my Suzuki Bandit. So thank you very much for joining me this video. I hope to be back soon with another one. Please like and subscribe. It really does help me. And I know these videos are slow. I know there's a lot of talking in them and stuff like that. And I know probably people prefer to see just a bike or stuff like that. But this is my journey, and this is what I'm recording. This is my diary of my journey from not being able to ride a bike to riding a bike and being legal to ride one fully. So yeah, thank you very much. I'll catch you on the next one.